Okay, so I've been asked to talk about the structure of a math essay, what it looks like. Well, what it looks like is similar in a sense of what an English essay looks like. You always start off with, you do some kind of an introduction. And in your introduction, you will talk about what your question is, what you're going to answer, perhaps some background information, why it would be important to the reader. And then you're going to transition into your math process. And your math process could take different scenarios. So then you do a little bit some math process of some kind. And your math process could be some algebra, it could be a graph, it could be a combination of the two. And then you often will do some kind of, in grade 10 I called it a C notice transition, which in essence means you reflect back upon what you did, make sense of this math process, and then from here you typically then move forward to do the next math process. Okay, and you do the next math process, all with a sense of trying to answer your question. And then you're going to do some reflecting here on what you just did, and then reflect upon what this means, what it means, perhaps think forward what you're going to do next, and you do another math process. And each of these math processes could be like a table, algebra, I said building an equation, a graph, something, and it's kind of like a paragraph. And in between them, there's moments where you talk about what you're going to do next, and you do some reflection and personal engagement, and you move on until you're finished your process. And part of this transition in the middle here could also be, if it comes up, some of the limitations of your model, it might come up in this process. But eventually, once you have finished answering your question, you then do some kind of a conclusion at the end. All right, and so I often think about, when I think about this math essay, it's similar to an English essay in the sense that there's an introduction, you have these math processes, and with some kind of transition statements between them that link them together so that it flows. And it's kind of like a story, right? It's a journey, it's a personal journey from this question as you start to figure out what your answer is that you are communicating to the reader, and then you have some kind of a conclusion at the end. Making sure that you also cite any sources and make a bibliography at the end. I hope that helps.